come from Muhammed, from Allah, which he thinks is heaven. So he has established it comes from where? From God, heaven. His purpose is a prophet. Now he has a problem here on morality. We have to look at the morals. He was an army general, a mercenary. He killed people. And you know why they called him merciful? Simple. Because he would kill the husbands of these women and then be merciful and marry them.
Please do everything you can to avoid wars. Once wars start, there are no nice ways to wars. And this is just the plain truth. Anybody telling you anything different is only pulling wool over your eyes. That person is only deceiving you. So to expose Pastor Bat Angel's hypocrisy on the issue, we go ahead and fully discuss the fate of female captives in wars. At peacetime, and I say this without any fear of contradiction, every man relishes the idea of just bumping into a woman along the road. You like her hips, you are attracted to her bust. Every man relishes the idea of just pinning her to the wall and having her right there. I mean, what's there? You want it, you see it, you grab it. But in the cool-headedness of peacetime, throughout human history, human beings have agreed that this is not the right thing to do. Human beings have agreed that we should reserve some modicum of decency that separates us from animals. And that is why you have many societies having laws against this. What do they call it again? RAPE. That is why you have many societies having laws against this. But that is not to say that this nature is not inherent in every man. When war starts, the very first thing that disappears is law and order. In the inflamed passions of war, very few people care about decorum. And that is why this nature that I told you that it is inherent in every man, which is to have women against their will, the lid is blown open during war. This nature now comes to the fore, and that is why you see many soldiers raping the wife of their enemies. In a nutshell, female captives are regarded as booties of wars to be shared among soldiers during war. And this should be very easy to confirm. Just go to Google and type in booties of war. You will see it there. Moreover, Deborah in her song in the book of Judges made allusion to this. Let us read it together. In the book of Judges chapter 5, let us start from verse 28. We read in Deborah's song toast. Sisera's mother looked through the window. She peered through the lattice, crying out, "Why is this chariot so long in coming? Why don't I hear the hoofbeats of his horses?" Our wisest princess answered her. She even answers herself. Are they not finding and dividing the spoil? A girl or two, a woman or two for each warrior. The spoil of colored garment for Sisera, the spoil of an embroidered garment or two for my neck. So the place I would like to emphasize is where she said, are they not finding and dividing the spoil? A girl or two for each warrior. Can you now see that taking women as booties of war is a standard that has been set long before Muhammad's coming? It was not Muhammad that came and set this standard. No, it is the way of war. Now, I have described the general nature of war. Let us now come back to religious wars, which is the subject matter. I would like to say something about our Christian brothers. You know, no matter how much they like to put on sheep's clothes, and they do that a lot, no matter how much they do this, we will always have something to learn from our brothers in faith, which are the Jews. And you know, Allah already said in the Quran that if you find anything unsettling about the character of Prophet Muhammad, if you find anything unsettling about his behavior, you should ask people of the book. And I tell you, a better way than asking people of the book is to go and read their book. Because chances are that if you ask people like Pastor Bat Angel, they will lie for you. They will paint Muhammad in a bad light because they hate him. So it's better you read the book yourself. So let us go to the Bible and see how God approaches this issue in religious wars. In Deuteronomy chapter 20, we read, let's start from verse 10. When thou comest nigh unto a city to fight against it, then proclaim peace unto it. 11. And it shall be, if it make thee answer of peace and open unto thee, then it shall be that all the people that is found therein shall be tributaries unto thee, and they shall serve thee. Verse 12. And if it will make no peace with thee, but will make war against thee, then you shall besiege it. Verse 13. And when the Lord thy God hath delivered it into thy hands, thou shalt smite every male thereof with the edge of the sword. Verse 14. But the women and the little ones and the cattle and all that is in the city, even all the spoil thereof, shalt thou take unto thyself, and thou shalt eat the spoil of thy enemies, which the Lord thy God hath given thee. Can you now see that even in religious wars, women are treated as booty of war? But the only difference is that in the case of secular wars, soldiers can rape these women indiscriminately. But in the case of religious wars, soldiers are not allowed to come over these women indiscriminately. You take them as slaves or you marry them. Also, in Numbers chapter 31, we read, let's start from verse 7. They fought against the Midian as the Lord commanded Moses, and killed every man. Verse 8. Among their victims were Hevi, Rechem, Zur, Ur, and Reba, the 5 kings of Midian. They also killed Balaam and son of Beor with the sword. Verse 9. The Israelites captured the Midianite women and children, and took all the Midianite herds, flocks, and goods as plunder. Can you now see? This is showing that the children of Israel, when they were fighting wars against the Midianites, they took all the women as plunders of war. In verse 13, we read, Moses, Eleazar, the priest, and all the leaders of the community went to meet them outside the camp. Verse 14. Moses was angry with the officers of the army, the commanders of thousands and commanders of hundreds, who returned from the battle. Verse 15. Have you allowed all the women to live? Moses asked them. They were the ones who followed Balaam's advice and enticed the Israelites to be unfaithful to the Lord in Peor incident, so that a plague struck the Lord's people. Verse 17. Now kill all the boys, and kill every woman who has slept with a man, but save for yourselves every girl who has never slept with a man. Can you now see? I hope with this I've been able to expose Pastor Hubert's hypocrisy. The book you carry contains records of how the firstborn of God, the Israelites, waged war and took women as captives. What is it that you are now accusing Muhammad of? That Muhammad married off the wives of his enemies during war. These are things that are recorded in the Bible, and they are the way of war. Can you now see, brethren, that there are no nice ways to waging wars? People like Pastor Robert Angel will come out to tell you, Muhammad did this, Muhammad did that. They are only trying to deceive you. They are only trying to give a dog a bad name in order to hang it. Even when the book they have with them, the Bible, contains records of how previous men of God have waged similar wars. So please don't be deceived. The Jews, Christians, and Muslims are God's army, and we are brothers in faith. Shalom.